Okay, so we're recording now. You should have a red light somewhere. Hey, little man.
Yes. Hey,
anytime you need to take a break, you want to get something to drink, use a restroom, whatever, feel free. We're recording, so it's not that big of a deal to pause or what have you.
Yeah,
what's your son's name?
Could I hate that, Emmerich?
I heter Emmerich.
His name is Emmerich.
Emmerich.
Yeah.
I'm Dax.
Emmerich.
Hemrick. Homrick.
Emmerich. Yeah. Yes.
Hemrick. I'm horrible at trying to. And it's Marius.
Yes.
How do you pronounce your name? Marius.
Marius.
Yes. Okay. I've been stressing over that for 2 days. I'm horrible at pronunciations, and I was trying to get your name right, and thankfully yours is one of the easier ones.
And like I said, your name is your Dax. That's your
Dax,
yeah. Cool.
Real simple. I'm used to people getting it wrong in the United States all the time, so I'm not picky about it. But thank you for taking the time to sit down and just chat with me. That's just a casual chat. Just who knows where it's going to go. Usually try and start with just a little bit about, who you are, and, kind of what you do and how you got started in FPV and stuff. And then we'll get into your new company and your new drone and stuff like that, because I was kind of intrigued by that design. But and then anything under the sun we can talk about. So anything that you want to talk about, feel free to table it at any time. But
thank you for your interest.
Hey, of course. I mean, it's an intriguing design. It's one that, like, the recessed battery is one that I've got floating around in my mind for a year. I haven't started on it yet because I'm still trying to learn my CNC and stuff. So when I saw your design come out, I'm like, oh, that's brilliant, the way you're using the cabling. So I've got questions about durability and all that kind of stuff, but it intrigued me. So I thought, man, let's see if we can talk with him some and see what his plans are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but I have to tell you straight away, it's not the Cobra. It's not really my design.
What's the gentleman's name? Your partner, or whatever, your designer? Max. Okay.
Max is and it's Spin FPV. He's my best friend, and he's Ukrainian, and he's a bit shy to be on cameras because his English is. We understand each other, but he's a bit shy.
Yeah. He said he wasn't comfortable with talking publicly or what have you. And in my mind, like, this is so informal. Like, y'all could have both came on and you could have translated for him, whatever. But definitely, I understand that public speaking isn't comfortable for everybody. I'm still not fully comfortable with it, but I just like FPV, so I like talking to people. And but yeah, I kind of get it. Like, you started this company. I didn't realize you're our best friends, but I figured y'all were tight because that's just how FPV rolls. But I figured y'all work together somehow on this design, and you were willing to talk, so I figured, why not bring you on? Let's maybe learn some stuff, and then maybe you'll get a little bit of exposure from people I hadn't seen your Facebook posts and stuff, and maybe it helps y'all out a little bit too.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I guess what little I know about you is Norway, Strasbourg. I know I'm butchering that. You live in Strasbourg?
Stavanger.
Stavanger. Okay.
Yeah. It's a town on the west coast of Norway. Yes, it's
okay. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. It's very wet, and it's very far north, but we have the Gulf Stream, so it's actually quite warm. Now it's probably around, I guess, like 10, between 10 and 15 Celsius. I don't know, you use Fahrenheit. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I don't know that conversion. Sorry. Yeah.
Not a problem. Are you wearing shorts or are you wearing coats?
It's thin coats.
Okay. Now I know. I can relate. Then it's about should be about where we are right now in our winter.
Yeah.
And I guess
where do you live?
Arkansas, which is in the southern part of the United States. We're next to Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
So here it's my favorite time of the year. It's I can wear shorts and a hoodie and I'm 100% comfortable all day. That's my preferred dress code.
Yeah. I can imagine it's not snow down there. It's never snow down there.
It will snow. It'll snow 4 years out of 5, but the snow doesn't stick. It immediately turns to ice, and so we'll have 2-3 inches of ice usually. Every once in a while we'll get a good snow, and we actually have some snow on the ground that we can actually go out and play with. But usually we just get snow comes down and it immediately melts and turns to ice on the ground. So the roads are rough and stuff like that. A little bit up north, they'll get nice snow and they can snow ski and all that good stuff. Which I love snow skiing. I wish we did get snow because snow skiing's the best.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it too.
And so a little bit about your background, what I can glean from what you have out on socials is you used to be in the oil industry in some way, and I'm guessing you picked up FPV as a hobby along that point, something like that. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yes, that sounds about right. Yeah, I have a very wide background. I started in the metallurgic industry, and then I moved to oil, where I was working offshore in drilling for 10 years, and I decided to study biology. I always wanted to work with development of technology, and I thought there's so much interesting and so much good stuff in nature that we can use. And I always been interested in biology as well, and I didn't want to study engineering and product design, because if you do what everybody else is doing, trying to make the same stuff as them, then it's harder to think differently, I think. And if you like, biology is very wide. You have a lot of math and mathematics and chemistry and physics, and it's I'm happy about that choice. And then I went back to oil industry for a couple of years after the corona, because that was hard times. And
did it hit y'all hard where you live? Did it hit your town and everything hard? Your Norway?
Not really, but we had strong measures. We shut down everything, so it didn't really hit us very hard. But the measures that the government took hit very hard. Yeah. So especially for good stuff. So yeah.
So looking back on that time, how does everybody feel about it? They feel it was appropriate responses. Everybody's okay with it. Heavy-handed response.
It's very varied. At the time, people was fine with it. I was a bit skeptical. I did study biology at the time, and I did study virology as well. And so I looked at the numbers, and it didn't seem very serious to me.
Right.
But the shutdown was quite serious. But most people were fine with it. I'm just maybe a little bit of a rebel, so I didn't like the shutdown. But yeah,
it was
so,
it was a constant.
Nice time for flying, though.
True. Very true.
Wasn't many people anywhere.
No, and you could have the whole city. You could have anything to you, and a lot of people took advantage of that.
It was like a ghost town.
Yeah. Unfortunately, where I live, there's just not a whole lot of nice architecture, so there's just not a whole lot of places to take advantage of. They're just now starting to, when they develop new buildings and things in our city, which is our capital, they're just now starting to apply architecture to their construction, which I'm thrilled about. I wish they would hurry up, because I'm ready to have some new places and some pretty places to fly versus just lots of trees. We've got natural beauty here, but I have to drive several hours north in order to experience that. Because where I live, in the center of Arkansas, where it's the capital, it's flat, and then mostly farmland all the way around. So it's just not a whole lot of beautiful things to video while you're out flying. But, it was for me, it was a challenging time, because we didn't stop work. We were classified as an important industry and stuff like that, but it was a constant switching back and forth between independence and freedom to being respectful and healthy, and you're listening to different opinions, and you're not. I'm not a biologist and stuff, so I'm having to try and base my opinions off the sound bites I'm getting from everywhere. And it was just kind of a conflict between trying to not overreact, but also not being naive and stupid and jeopardizing health or what have you. And now looking back, I'm just like, I think as far as my country, we definitely overreacted. Antibacterial hand wash, you couldn't find it anywhere, but this is a virus. There's just so many different things.
It doesn't take viruses.
right. But I think, I guess it's kind of sound like that's kind of the norm, where people all around were kind of like, well, maybe we overreacted a little bit as far as globally, but different opinions here and there. And so were you already in FPV before COVID? Like, when did you start getting into it? I started
around first videos I saw on YouTube. It was probably around 2017, I guess. And I was immediately, I thought that stuff is so cool. I want to do that. So I saw a video. I don't remember. I think it was what's the Australian guy's name? I don't.
The long range.
Not long range. Today's dude. You know that guy? No.
Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but he has a very particular introduction to every video.
School teacher, very upbeat.
Probably, yes. And his name is Stu. Racing as well. But anyway, I saw some of his videos, and somebody, I don't remember if it was him, but somebody recommended the Happy Model Mantis, I think it's called.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I bought that one. Had no experience. never flew anything. So I just went out, tried it line of sight. And at the time, I lived in a different town called Bergen, and it's one of the wettest places on the planet. It felt like it's a very rainy place, and it was big puddles everywhere, like really big ones. And I just found a dry spot between them, and I wanted to test it. Gave a little bit throttle, and it flew up a little bit too high, and it came down almost into a puddle. So I pushed full throttle, and I was like, whoop, and that was gone forever. Went to drone heaven.
But you were hooked immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, but I thought, okay, it was fun when it lasted. So I'll buy another one. So I bought like a really tiny small one, happy model. I'm not sure the name, but it's brushed, and it's FPV. It's the cheapest drone you can buy with FPV. It has like a red canopy with some shark stuff. It's for kids. It looks like it's really, really small, and it's 65 millimeters, and it's it's not very flyable, really, but it worked, and I got it used from my brother, actually, because he didn't manage to fly it. They forgot to solder on one of the battery cables. It just wasn't soldered on. So I fixed it for him, and I said, "This is great. Can I have it?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can have it." And the screen was on the goggles was broken, half of them. So I flew with half goggles, and I managed to fly inside after a couple of weeks of training.
Yeah. That's about what it took to me, about a couple of weeks before I could actually not crash consistently over and over again. Like I could finally actually spend some time in the air. You know, I was flying. I started flying indoors as well at work. Yeah.
It's safe. I considered it safe after the first experience. I had to keep it trapped in the house. So.
Yeah. So is your brother still into FPV, or did he give it up? Or
he gave up. It was too complicated, and it was the time with the FR Sky and all these protocols and all this mess. It wasn't easy to update and get it running.
Yeah.
So there was some hours with Joshua Bardwell before I managed as well. So
I lucked out and never added FR Sky into the complications of FPV starting out. That probably saved me a lot of headache with their protocols and all that good stuff. Proprietary protocols.
For 4 or 5 months. I just tried, couldn't do it, and I just left it, and I didn't want to start again because it's so frustrating. and then you just do other stuff because you have. Yeah. I like to do stuff. I have many projects usually. So.
Me too. I can't have just one project. I've usually have 3, 5, 6, and it's like every one of them is in a different stage of completion. And when I hit a block on one of them, I need to order a new part. I need to design something. I need a different tool, whatever. Like I put it in a giant Ziploc bag, and I look at the other ones I've got, and I'm like, okay, now I've got the parts in for this one, so let me start this project again, and I just keep rotating through them.
Yeah. Understand. Du säger Henrik.
Den stora bilen.
Den store bilen. Ja, vi skal fikse den store bilen, men ikke akkurat nå. Nå skal jeg snakke i telefonen, Henrik. Så nå må du finne på noe annet, ok? Ja, du kan ta den fram. Yeah.
How old is he?
3 years old.
3. Oh, it's a great age. I miss my son being that age. Those are my favorite years of being a dad, was from being born up to like 6. I just loved those years.
Yeah.
Is that just your only one?
I have 2 more. They're 9 and or almost 10 and 12.
Okay, so you don't ever get any rest.
No, it's a busy day. And I'm running also an Airbnb, and I have a full-time job on the side, and then I have the drone projects. So it's
good.
It's
you like to be busy.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he wants to show the car.
Yeah, I love it. Very cool. Tell him it's very cool.
Han syns den är tøff, Henrik. Han syns den var kul.
Se på den.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's like me. He can't have enough of cars.
So he loves RC?
He loves any technical stuff. He loves
good.
And cannot have enough. So it's a good match like that. He loves both and everything. Yeah,
that's cool. See, when I saw FPV, like I think you're blessed, because like when I saw FPV, I immediately thought this is something my teenage son and I can do together. Like he has to love this. And I tried and he just has no interest in FPV. So I finally I said, all right, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah. It's the others. The oldest is the girl. She's very skilled, but she don't have the patience to learn it. She gets very frustrated, and especially because the middle one, he's not very interested either. But he did try. He flew in the simulator, and he flew better than her, or he wanted to fly more than her. So he just became better. Then she's like, not touching that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're not very technical. They don't like technical stuff. He's more like me in that manner. Det var den, ja. Den må du passe på, Henrik.
And I never thought about the technical challenge side. I was just seeing this dude just has his goggles on, and he just flew out here and hit a gap in a tree or whatever. It just blew my mind. And I never thought that somebody else wouldn't see that and have the same reaction as me. And, after a few years in it, you look around and like all your family's like, God, leave me alone. Don't talk to me about FPV again. And like, I don't understand how you don't think it's cool.
Yeah. It's the same for me. Drones and I like robots as well. I'm currently working with washing robots as well.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
It's this big. The biggest ones we have is like 900 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost 2,000 pounds. They do the sports beds and stuff, and we need to. It's navigating by LiDAR, and we need to program them and get them running. And you also need to teach like regular cleaning personnel. I need to teach them how it works. So it's so you need to have a little bit of a pedagogic sense as well. You need to make them like the machines so you can sell them. Yeah.
So is this a project that you're doing personally, or is this for a job or something?
This is for a job. I have a full-time job in this company.
Okay, cool. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Complicated but fun.
Yeah.
Is your forgive me, your best friend, what's his name again? I don't want to butcher it.
Max.
Max
from Ukraine, yes.
Okay. Does he have any sort of technical background? Because y'all's Cobra is
He has a degree in engineering.
Okay, that kind of explains it because it's a unique design for sure.
Yeah.
It's you know
very special.
I was looking at it going, yeah, that's not somebody like my skill level that's learning fusion and stuff. Sat down and knocked that out. That's like somebody that's got experience, knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun to work with him. We sit down and brainstorm, and we have so many ideas we want to
I bet.
put through. Yeah, it's interesting.
So are y'all planning on like a whole line of frames for different applications, or?
Yeah, well, he's also working on a project with a game, a laser tag system.
Okay.
It should. He wants to have laser diodes on the drones, and he wants to have sensors on the back of every drone, and he wants to make a system that it's not really integrated into beta flight, because it would make it complicated. He wants to make a system on the side that makes it should be very easy to install and robust, and
okay,
yeah,
cool.
you get stuck, you get the drones should be like it shouldn't disarm, but it should be it should have some disadvantages for we were thinking about slowing down the rates to like 1/3 for it,
because it's like it's wounded or something.
Yeah,
I gotcha. And so, if I understand correctly, he wants to make his own flight firmware with some customization for this game, and that's what you would flash.
Not really. He wants to use Betaflight, but he wants to keep the electronics mostly aside from the flight controller. He wants to have separate electronics. Okay.
All right. So you'd solder on a PCB of some sort that is for the functionality of the game.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's intriguing. Man, that's something I've always wished I knew. PCB design and layout, because I mean I've already had a couple things where like I wish I could just make me something, and I know it's very accessible with various manufacturers online. If you know how to lay it out, you can get it manufactured. I just don't have that knowledge.
I've seen people use this PCB way, for example, and it doesn't seem very hard, because they will help you.
They will, depending on the person trying to help you. Sometimes the broken English is a challenge for me to fully understand, and then me not having a solid electronic background as far as PCB design, I wasn't able to understand what they were stating to me, and it was me, not them.
Dealing with them.
Yeah, it was me. I was the weak point in it, but yeah, they will help, but I think they're used to somebody that has more of a basic knowledge to an expert knowledge than I. And then we had some, communication struggles with the English, and I was just like, I don't want to waste this guy's time. I'm just going to put this project down. Maybe I'll come back around it some other day.
Yeah, I understand that.
Have y'all messed with AI any?
Yeah, well, I'm very interested in AI, and I have a small Arduino project, and I did make a code yesterday.
Cool.
with AI just to try to make it work. I just need a frequency generator, and I just want to control a motor.
Gotcha.
Just to run. Yeah.
I want somebody to come up with an AI website that you can upload your black box log, and AI will come back and tell you how to tune it.
Exactly. That
would be
a genius idea.
Mm-hmm. I'd pay $20 every, an upload. Like, I built a new quad. Here's my black box. Here's $20. And it comes back and goes, do you want a tight tune? Do you want a cinematic tune? A race tune? And then, it spits it out for me. And I'm like, bet,
Yeah.
Make life so much easier.
I think it would be a very good application for AI, because it's very difficult for a person to interpret the data 100%, but an AI could for sure do it really, really, really easily. So I think you just need lots of data from different types of frames, different because I think it's a big variety between frames, how the resonances are and how it behaves. And
true, yes, yeah. Lots of data. It like, I was investigating with ChatGPT, and I don't have the technical background to fully understand what ChatGPT was telling me, but it's like, yes, I can read this black box log, upload it to me. So I gave him the log, and then ChatGPT's, well, I need the debug. And I'm like, I don't know what a debug is. I've heard of debug. It's all, you hear it all the time, but I've never used one. I don't know what the little software is. Give me the debug, and I can read this. I can do what you want. And I'm like, okay, so how do I give you the debug? And then it's like, well, you need to do something with the API. And I'm like, I don't know what an API is. Please explain to me what an API is. And so it's trying to kind of tell me, but I'm not an IT guy, what have you. I learn by stumbling through things. So it looks like, I'm surprised somebody hasn't done it that has experience in those sorts of IT or development backgrounds and stuff, because it seems like it's can be done today, and it seems like it's not that big of a leap for AI to do it.
Absolutely, I completely agree. It's fascinating when you see other things being made. I don't know if you remember this omnidirectional drone that it could fly any directions. You remember that? There was a competition from this guy.
I can't remember the actor's name. Yeah,
Terrence
Howard.
Terrence Howard, yeah, exactly. You have some interesting ideas, I think, but I don't trust all this intuition, though. But this drone project, I think he I don't think he was very involved in the process, but the guy that solved it, I think that was really, really, really impressive. And if one guy can manage to do that, I think, well, if some person with that level of intellect would sit down and try to make an AI interpret bids, I think it would be a small problem.
I think I agree with you. That's why I'm surprised that nobody's done it yet, because I think whoever does do it, there would be a financial benefit for them immediately for their time sitting down to do it. I remember two people actually ended up making that design work. The first guy, his name escapes me, but he was the developer for Emu Flight. He made it work, and then another gentleman made it work. And so Terrence Howard went ahead and paid them both I think it was a $10,000 reward,
yeah.
to whoever
Yeah,
did it.
exactly.
So he went ahead and paid both of them, which, like, I was surprised because, you know, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, this is going to be so super complicated. This is going to be hard to do. But if somebody does it, there's a 10,000 reward, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, in 3 weeks, like, 2 guys like, yep, done. And you're like, oh, wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody will jump on the ball there, because that would be helpful to me. And I think it'd be helpful to a lot of new people, because I can get a basic tune as far as at defaults. If there's an issue with, generally, if there's an issue with how the quad is flying, I can usually resolve that with some tune adjustments.
Yeah.
But I don't have a passion to learn how to tune to the finite detail. I just don't have the constant uploading back box logs, looking at the data, go fly back and forth. For me, it's several times. I know for some people, it's like they go out and they get one fly and they're good, they're done. For me, it's back and forth a few times. And
yeah, for me as well. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't. The thing is, you cannot be, you cannot learn everything.
It takes time.
That's how I feel, and it's I want to learn everything, but I realized with age that I need to limit my expectations for how much I can learn.
Yeah, there's other aspects of it that I find more enjoyable, and the aspects I find less enjoyable, like, well, the same thing with 3D printers. Like, I'm not one that's going to tune my 3D printer down to the final, to perfection, when 80%, there's not much of a difference between 80% and 90%, 100% in quality change.
Yeah.
So that digging down into the weeds of things isn't a whole lot of fun for me. I'd rather design something and print it out and go, hey, that worked. Or, you know, hey, let me try and learn a new editing trick for videos or what. You know, I just jump all over and kind of chase the fun. And so I learn a lot of stuff, but I don't kind of master any one thing around me. You know, I just constantly are learning a little bit from everything.
Yeah. No, I'm the same, but I think there is some benefit to that as well, because if you dig completely down into one thing and you focus on that, then there's still limits for what you can do. Then you would need other people. You would be dependent on others to do different parts of the process for you.
True.
And I don't really like to be dependent on others. I like to do as much as possible myself. But
same way.
Yeah.
The same way. One of the things I love about FPV is I've learned so many things in so many areas that I never thought about, never imagined, never had an interest in before. And I can do it as I want to do it. As time prevails, I don't have to wait on other people and stuff like that. So I get what you're saying, which makes the hobby more fun, because it's constant. There's constant achievements. Every week there's an achievement I've made where, when you have to collaborate, sometimes that achievement's put off for several weeks until everybody got their piece done or whatever.
Yeah, it's quite impressive how it works, because I think how drones fly nowadays, I think it is really impressive. It's I think some years ago, let's say in 20 years ago, I think people wouldn't have imagined drones can fly today.
Not at all.
And the level of robustness of the system, like if you crash into something and break a propeller or whatever, it still flies quite nicely, and it's impressive. And when you think about how difficult it is in a way to control, because the only thing you can do, you have only like a thrust vector, like it's more or less like a rocket, except you can rotate it and steer it, but you can only adjust like the very few parameters, and with these you should turn the thrust in the right direction to make this thing fly nicely, and it's it's when you think about it,
it expands the way it kind of expands your consciousness in a way, because you have to learn to stop thinking in merely a linear mindset, a linear point of view at life. As you walk around, you can only go forward and so backwards and stuff. And it challenges you to think about spatial awareness, develop your spatial awareness, and think about, I can do a full 360 on top of this linear environment. So now I have total control of my surroundings. And you have to start thinking about, when I'm in this angle and I give it thrust, it reacts in this new way that I'm not used to. I've never experienced in my daily life of just walking and living.
Yeah, exactly.
So it challenges your mind.
Yeah, it does. And it takes a while to get used to it.
It does. And some may, myself, I don't know if I'll ever fully master that full 360 3D world in my mind mentally. Like I've definitely, my spatial awareness has become so much more sharp. Like, you got these goggles on and the drone is facing this way. Like, I still know what's around me in the approximate distance as this drone is moving around. I still have this approximate distance of where that drone is in relation to this. And so when you do a flip or whatever, like, you don't see the object, but it's there. And so you complete your spin real quick and, like, bam, nailed it. I'm this close to hitting it. I knew it. You have to develop that spatial awareness.
Yeah, exactly. Oj, nu kört vi på lysbrytaren. Just a second, I have light controls. The car was running over it.
Gotcha.
Kört over den med bilen, Mika. Yeah.
So is he a daddy's boy?
Huh?
Is he a daddy's boy?
No, he's mommy's boy, but he's very, very similar to me. They're very similar in interest and in mentality, I think. But he likes his mama anyway.
Good. How long have you been married?
I'm not married.
Not married? Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been together?
We're not currently together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My apologies. I hope I'm not getting anything. My apologies.
It's fine. It's a big family. It's a lot of stuff going on. So, but it's we're good friends and everything is perfect.
Good.
So.
Good. I'm still I'm on good terms with my ex-wife, which is my son's mother. Thank God. Like, thankfully we aren't. Both of us are people that don't hold we don't, we're good people. We don't have a mean spirit of like trying to be mean to people in our lives. And we don't, I don't know how to say this. We're both laid back, chilled. And so once our relationship ended and we got divorced or whatever, we never had animosity to each other. We didn't try to be mean. We didn't try to ruin each other's lives and stuff like that. It was just it was a very easy divorce. There's a couple here's and there's, but overall it's a very easy separation and divorce. And so we've always been cool with each other. We still, you know, we can, when we get around each other for whatever kid event for my son or whatever like that, we're laughing, cutting up about things and stuff like that. So very blessed there. But my current wife, we've been together for 10 years and we just got married a year ago. And everything, you know, and again, a sweetheart, a doll, and very laid back. And I'm such an anti-drama, anti-stress person in my life. Like I joke around and I say that I'm allergic to drama. That you know, life's too short to deal with just, you know. I've got friends that I love dearly, but they always seem to be embroiled in some sort of drama in their life. I'm like, I love you, but I can't let you close because I like my life calm, level, chill.
That's how I like it as well. It's not always how it's been though, but that's mainly not my end, but it's I don't see the point of making things more complicated than they are.
It doesn't help anything. Nothing comes out of it. There's no fruit from it, you know.
Exactly.
Life's just better when you're not frustrated, you know. And you get you just I just think that, you know, I mean, I don't know. I scratch my head sometimes and I look around at some people that I know, and it seems like you just chase constant drama. And I'm like, why would you want to go through life like that? You know? And it's a choice. You can't convince me that it's not a choice for them to go through life with constantly being mad at somebody. Somebody did them wrong. Some they're always the victim. And I'm like,
it's easy to I actually used to see it that way as well, but I last years I realized more that there's no such thing as a choice. You can say it's a choice, but if you really dig into that stuff, there's not really. We have our code. We're driven by our code. I don't have anybody else's code, and I'm running it. It's running it in an environment, executing its plan, and that's who I am.
So we got good code. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I'm happy with my code.
I'm happy with my code too.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it's but it's not always. Well, you can say it's a choice people make, but the thing is, if you try to be somebody else, like if you want to behave differently, that's still then that's a part of you that you're inclined to want to behave differently. You still have the same code. You still have the same flesh and the same things. It's
true, but you can some of it is behavioral, and you can change behavioral things with focus and work. You know, it's been proven that, like, you know, your synapses in your brain, if you constantly think in negative ways, your synapses will rewire them to have the shortest path to those negative memories and those negative emotions. And if you start focusing on the more positive stuff, your synapses will rewire, and those negative memories aren't as frequently accessed, and over time they're accessed even less and less as your initial response to a stimulant. So
definitely, I completely agree, and it's my point isn't that you should give up on trying to be a good person, because I think self-improvement is I think that's important, to try to be your best self, and you can definitely like, the environment can change people, but you can also, at least from my end, it feels like I can change my life if I want to. So
right.
Right.
No, but not everybody's in that environment, which I would agree. Thankfully, we're not. We're in a healthier, positive, more environment that, doesn't anchor us down to that kind of stuff. And that's one of the aspects that I found about FPV is it seems to kind of, if you enter FPV with the right mindset, the right goal or whatever, like this childlike excitement, for me, that's what my experience was. When I discovered FPV, I was like 6 years old again, and I had this explosion of just, what? How does this work? Oh, you build something, like how, and just this interest that just overwhelmed. And when I came into it, just like, yay, let's do it. Oh, this is so cool, whatever. So for me, it kind of reinforces that behavioral, that self-improvement, trying to stay focused, because there are times after being in it for a few years where you could definitely go the negative route in FPV. You could make that comment of that's a little bit that's terse because somebody slighted you when you posted something in a Facebook group or whatever. So it's a constant, FPV is a constant exercise to ignore, because I'm active in Facebook groups. I know not everybody is. So when you go into Facebook groups, you get positive people, you get negative people. It's the internet. And so for me, like, FPV is a constant exercise in ignoring the negative stuff. And just staying focused on the positive, good vibes of FPV. I felt like it's been mentally healthy for me in multiple ways.
It's interesting to observe people and how they behave and stuff.
Yes, on the internet where you have no accountability, it's people are a lot more rude than they would be in real life. So
how about your I was checking out your channel. I saw it, you have a lot of interesting people. It's an interesting channel. But do you do some designs or do you
yes and no. So I'm constantly tweaking things. So designs on
Kan du hämta fan? Kan du hämta fan?
Går det?
Jag har lyssnat. Titta där. Hämta till mig.
Do you have one?
Yeah. Good hand. Yeah, sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. Being a dad always comes first.
Yeah.
So I have some designs that I haven't completed. I haven't released. I'm constantly tweaking things that, somebody else's design. And so I'm using it on one of my builds, but I want to do, for me, I want to do something different. So I go in and I tweak it for my application. I've just started getting back into whoops pretty heavily with the Air 65 and 75, which I freaking love those two whoops. So it got me back into playing with whoops again. So I designed my own little canopy. So I'm constantly doing little designs. I'd say maybe 20% I actually, offer out. The rest I kind of keep just for stuff I do, because some stuff I'm just like, I don't think anybody else is going to think this is good, smart, what have you. So I just do it myself, because like, for example, over here I just finished a La Puffin build that I've had sitting over here in a Ziploc bag for a year. And when I started building the La Puffin, I'm in this phase right now where instead of using double-sided tape and zip ties and stuff, which I don't like, I don't know, I just don't like them. I'll manufacture TPU components that the receiver and the air unit and things like that will sit in. And so I could have used the La Puffin's standard 3D prints, but I basically went in and just designed all my own 3D prints, just because I don't know, I like doing that. And it's practice with the goal of, once I pick the CNC back up and finish my learning curve on it, because I haven't touched it in 3 months. Once I pick it back up, then I want to start doing some of my own frames and stuff. Yeah. Some I will probably put on my website. If people are interested, they could buy one. I just think it would be cool to fly my own designs, see what's good, what's not, learn from that, and then come back and redesign and just cut my own frames. I just feel like that's what I want to do, at least for a period of time. I would love to I'd love to do what you're doing, where you're releasing, a fully completed frame to the community. I'm not there yet. I'm still learning Fusion. I'm learning the CNC at the same time. Yeah. I'll pick it back up here in a couple months, I guess, when that interest comes back around to that. The video stuff, I just like making videos. They're not very good. I don't put a whole lot of effort in them, because I don't find the work you got to do to make a professional YouTube video of scripting it out, rereading it until you say it right, cutting out, making all the edits and stuff so that it's this finely tuned video when it's done. Like, to me, that's not fun. It's just an extension of my hobby, so sometimes the video quality is crap. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes the audio is crap. Sometimes the audio is good. And, if some people want to watch it, cool. It's fun watching people subscribe. But even if I had one subscriber, I'd still do it, just because it's an extension of my hobby. I'm learning some videography. I'm learning some editing. I'm learning a little sound design. I'm not a pro in any of these areas.
It's a useful skill to have, to be able to make a video. If it's professional or not, it doesn't really matter. But just being able to make like a decent video, I think it's a useful skill.
and it's a goal to try and get better at. I don't like going to I don't like going to class. I don't like going to school. I don't like a teacher environment as far as, you know, I got to allot this time every week to this. So I just learn off as I go from research. And like now, anytime I'm watching a commercial on TV, a TV show, a movie, like now my brain is getting trained to watch the editing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, right, you know, it's like, okay, so maybe I'll try and remember that and incorporate that in the next video. Because you whatever you do, you want to do it as best as you can. And so I'm trying to improve. Like I just did a little job for a company last weekend where they were having their family fun day, and they had the coworkers and their families come in on the Saturday, and they cooked, you know, food and had games and stuff for the kids and stuff like that. And so I came out and I got to fly their plant and hang out with them, have some free food. They paid me, and I'm like, I would have done this for free because I'm going to take the money because I got a expensive hobby that I need to help pay for. But it's funny because it's like I would do this stuff for free because it's like, who gets to fly in this plant? Nobody. I'm getting an opportunity to fly somewhere where nobody is ever going to be able to fly. So yeah, I'll do it. Oh, you want to pay me for it? Bet. Let's do that. You know, cool. It's a win. It's a home run, you know? And so then when I get done with that little video, and so I'm learning how to use a handheld camera plus the drone, a couple different drones. And then I come back and I sit down and I start challenging myself to like, trying to make this as professional as possible. You're just a hobbyist, but try to make it to where they don't know that and they think you know, can you do a professional job as a hobbyist and you know, get a passing grade or what have you. And and increments, just trying to get better and better, because it's just, again, it's an extension of the hobby. When I started, I had no skill sets other than just 9 to 5. I was a great dad. That's the best thing I've ever done in my life. I was I go to work, watch TV, stuff like that. And then when, you know, FPV came, now I know some editing, I know some sound design, I know some 3D printing, I know some fusion, I know some CNC. I know how to fly some. I know how to a little bit on electronics. I just did an ESP lap timer. Like I've never used an ESP32. I don't even know what it is technically, but I was able to program it and like, I don't have a background in any of this stuff. So it's just little increments of expanding knowledge and trying to get better, you know? I hope that answered your question.
It's a very broad skill set you get from flying FPV. So it's a good hobby in many ways.
Oh, it is a huge blessing. That's why I can't recommend it enough, because it can be beneficial in so many ways. And then just dexterity, you know, just hand dexterity. You know, as you get older, that's important to keep exercising. You're mentally, not only does it help you stay positive, does it help you, you know, stay focused on something that's healthy for you. Maybe it helps you stop, helps you stop alcoholism or something like that. But it can be just a constant source of just positive reinforcement. Like, I flew a whole pack and didn't crash, to I finally got that trippy spin down. You know what I mean? It's just constantly little affirmations that life is good.
Yeah.
That's what FPV is to me.
Yeah. Do you fly racing or simulator or? or mostly freestyle? Or?
Freestyle, cinematic. I wouldn't call it racing with the Cineboops. I try with the new Air 75 and 65 at work. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I'm trying to. It's piqued an interest in racing for me for the first time in my FPV journey. Before I was just like, yeah, I'm tired of hearing about racing. You know, it's like very few people race. You know, freestyles where it's at, cinematics where it's, you know. Now I'm like, if I had a crew around me, I would definitely get into racing as another aspect of FPV. There's just so few people in Arkansas that live close enough for us to pull something like that off on a regular basis. So mostly freestyle, mostly cinematic. With whoops, I'm trying to build up my experience and comfort, you know, my comfort level with learning how to do how to turn 180 degrees at near full speed like the racers can do. Like I haven't quite got there yet, so I just purchased a bunch of PVC so I can do the race gates, and so and built this little lap timer. So I'm going to start sitting down in my living room and I'm going to start working on, you know, picking up my speed and stuff like that with the 65 millimeter. Outside that, primarily freestyle.
Yeah,
what about you?
It's interesting to see. No, I do. Well, it's mostly in simulator. I've been racing. I've been trying some in real life as well, but I think it's more. It's very stressful in real life. Because if you practice in the simulator and you see that you're doing quite well, and then you get on the racetrack, and if you don't race much, you get very like you want to show what you can do, and it's actually very stressful. It's so it's more comfortable to race in the simulator, and I think it changed how I fly. It's the level of well, it's just how you fly. It just changes when you get more experience, and I think it's very hard to fly that much in real life as you can in the simulator, because you need to like constantly charge batteries and constantly go out and
it's expensive to fly that much.
One more time.
You know, it's more expensive in order to get the same amount of stick time for sure, because you're gonna be breaking things and you need more packs, maybe an extra charger, and you know, all the time to charge. So you asked about similar for me. I probably have maybe 20 hours in the simulator since I started. I've tried the simulator, but maybe it's because I started flying in real life and then went to the simulator that the physics aren't 100%, and so I don't enjoy it. So I don't fly the simulator. I kick myself in the butt like once a year, and like, you could be so much better if you would also spend simulator time. And I'll pick up the controller and I'll log in, and I'll probably spend an hour, and in the first day, maybe an hour the second day, and then I'm like, I'm done. I have to fly. I have to actually fly, and that's what I enjoy. I wish I could get down the simulator. I can't.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's for me. I think it's mostly because I can see I have some there is some guys in my area racing as well, and they're also in the simulator. And when I started out, because I also started flying first, and I was it took several years before I tested a simulator. But when I did, I saw these other guys as like they're so skilled, and I thought I can never achieve what they do. I thought that would be just impossible. But then I realized quite fast that okay, now I'm actually almost there, and then I catch up and I overpass quite many, and it's an interesting. Yeah, thanks. It's just interesting to see how the progression goes, and because you would imagine that when you're old, like I'm 43, you would imagine you would stagnate quite fast and have no chance for improvement. But it's still improvement, like almost every time. It's and that's it's a bit it gives a very nice feeling when you're
sure
getting older and you understand you can compete with with anybody.
Absolutely. I think maybe some of it is like one thing I did notice is on the simulator, some people have gone in and spent time on customizing a quad on the simulator, and it behaves more realistic than the defaults. A buddy of mine passed away several years back. He lived several hours up north. He was starting to get me into simulators, and him and a friend of his and me would get on and about once a week. And I told him, I was like, I just usually don't because they don't feel right. They just the physics stuff. And so he's like, go online and download this custom drone. I don't remember what it is. He said it feels better, more natural. And so I downloaded it, and it did. It would drop. I don't know what the original guy did, but it would drop more realistically, more quickly than the defaults, whatever. Maybe if I could discover somebody's work that makes it a little bit more realistic, maybe I could get back into it. Because listen to you talk, every time I hear somebody talk about the simulator like you just have, I'm like, oh, man, I'm wasting time. I need to get back on the simulator. And I guarantee you, tomorrow I'm going to get back on the simulator, and then within a couple of days, I'll give it up again instead of sticking with it.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to be a better pilot. I definitely would. I'd like to be considered a really good pilot. Maybe I'll get there one day. I don't know.
I think I think the goal is I don't want to. Well, of course, I wouldn't mind winning races, but that's not the goal. I think the goal is just to be able to fly nicely and feel confident. And if I because I'm working on a frame as well, that's my own, and I want to present it in a nice way.
Right.
And if I can fly nicely, it would just look nicer.
True. Now that I can respect. When I got the Air 75 and 65, I had that feeling. I was like, man, I wish I could fly better to properly show this amazing little tiny whoop that they designed. My flying isn't showing it the respect it deserves. So I can respect that. But it's just more to keep working at. That's the addiction to FPV is there's always something you can do better and keep working at. So you started you started a drone business a couple years back or something. Now you're doing that on the side as.
Yeah, it's mostly on the side. Yes.
Same here. You enjoying that?
I want to focus on this. I mainly want to focus on the frame, but I didn't really do much on it lately. It's been a bit busy in the private side.
Sure.
But I can, if you want, I can send. I made like a very small video. You can see it, but if you don't mind, don't post it maybe.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit special.
Okay.
And 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and I'll send it.
I'd be honored, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Nice. Just a second.
When, is he getting close to releasing the frame?
Max, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's different projects. He's working on a new revision of his Cobra, and also on the game. But this one is a different frame. It's I'll show you. I just need to log in here just a second.
So how many frames are in works?
Nah, it's many.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
My Fusion probably has 7 to 8 different frame designs that I haven't fully completed, and part of it is when you get a frame design, and I would send it off to China for them to cut and send me the frame back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be building it, playing with it, and I'd find something I wanted to adjust. Mm-hmm. Well, now I got to send it. I got to make the adjustment, send it back to China. They got to recut it. That's a whole nother order. And it was just like, this isn't financially efficient. So I paused, purchased a CNC. I'll cut my test frames myself, save myself that money. And then if I decided to, once I got it finalized, if I decided to put it on my website and offer it to people to buy, I would cut small orders myself. And it became, if by chance it became popular, that's when I would send off to China and have them cut in a larger quantity for myself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the plan.
Yeah. It sounds like a good idea to make it as like cheap and easy. I saw there was a laser cutter, a laser CNC machine, not CO2, but I think it was, if I'm not wrong, I think it was 70 watts or something. And I asked them directly, the manufacturer, can it cut carbon fiber? And they said yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you can cut carbon, because I think lasers, they're so appealing because there's no noise, there's no dust. Well, there is smoke, of course, but it's less than like dangerous carbon fiber dust flying around giving you cancer.
Yeah, there's no bits breaking.
Yeah.
Huh.
Exactly.
See, now you planted a seed, and now I'm going to start looking into that.
Yeah, I sent it to you. It's you can have a look if you want. Now it's not finished. There is some pieces missing.
No, dude. None of my videos are ever finished. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got it muted. Let me get this bigger. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm thinking a Y4.
Uh-huh.
You know, Y4 with two propellers
Yeah.
behind and one, and it will be a pusher.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I think that the benefit of this configuration, if it's a pusher and like this, because you can maximize the size of the propellers compared to the frame. Because if you like if you look on drone, like how powerful they are, because before people thought hexacopters was more powerful than quadcopters.
Mhm.
But it's not really, because if an octocopter would have less propeller area. Like if you have 100 propellers, it will only be like a tiny thin slice of propellers. So you will have much less propeller area, because I think propeller area, that's what you want. So quadcopters are okay, but helicopters are best, but they're so complicated, and there's so much shit with them. Like one breakdown and it's gone. But I think on a triangle, you just have much more propeller square area than if you have a quadcopter. It's
Makes sense.
yeah. So you can have the frame more or less the size as a 5-inch, but you can have 7-inch propellers.
Never thought about it. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is it's a pusher, and you need landing gear. Because that's just, you cannot just, yeah, you need some kind of landing gear. But on the other side, you will have a lot of space on top, because there will only be a propeller on the back and on top. The whole front area will be free to put whatever you want. So it's very spacious. And if you see in the middle of the arms, there is a small slot. There should be a plate in the middle as well. And the battery should go under this plate, like inside the frame.
That's smart.
Yeah, and I think for resonance, I think this frame will be more or less. In my head, it will be very stiff, and I think the plate in the middle, because there is one plate now in the middle, but the one that goes in the middle, like under this one, it should be a little bit bigger, so it should always stay under tension.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think
Okay, that makes sense.
there's not much room for resonance in this frame. Of course, there will always be resonance, but I think it would be on a smaller level than most frames. So that's one of the.
That's intriguing.
I think also, I guess it will be very rigid as well. If you crash, I think. Because it's supposed to be in quite thick carbon, so it would still be light even if you have quite thick carbon, because there's so few parts in it. It's just yeah. So
I like it. It's intriguing. I'm liking y'all's designs, because the two of you seem to have a different. You're not in the box. You're not in the box of traditional designs, which I like. So is this being designed more for cinematic or freestyle, or?
No, I was thinking more for. Just a second, I need to plug in my phone. It's I'm running out of battery. Yeah. I was thinking more for
Because it looks like a cine lifter.
yeah, that was actually my plan to have it because a 7-inch like that one could easily, I think it can easily lift whatever you need. Just a second, almost there. Battery is running out fast. The last. Is it charging?
I want to build this.
Yeah, cool. Me too. Yeah. Emily, måste lätt på det då. Yeah. Yeah, so it's I want to work with that one, but the thing is that the tolerances. Just a second. Huh.
Jag kör på. Jag kan köra bil.
Du kör bil, ja. Vi är snart färdiga, Henrik. Snart färdiga att snacka, och då ska vi finna på något, Henrik. Vi måste spisa lite. Yeah, sorry, it's getting tired.
No,
yeah.
I love.
I think. So yeah, I was just thinking the tolerances for the frame, because I don't have any experience with that kind of design, because it needs to be more accurate than many frames, because it's held together by the tolerances of the cutting.
Gotcha.
So it's yeah, and I need to. I didn't send it for cutting. I need to finish the middle plate and a couple more things, and I need to also figure out the motor mounts, because the two front motors are easy, it doesn't matter, but the back motors will be over each other, and you need to. But there is nice frames like this, this Hurricane, I think it's called, and also the iFlight Rocket or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't remember exactly, but it has this kind of arm, the sandwich for the motor mounts. I can find some inspiration there. I think.
Yeah, I think yours looks more durable, and I think yours looks. I don't. This when you use this word, it can have a negative connotation, but that it's not it. In this instance, it's brilliant. It has a simpler design to work. If it's.
Thanks.
I mean, it's simply brilliant. It's not over engineered. Which over engineering can introduce fail points and stuff like that, and you've got plenty of areas to without even the second plate that you put in. There's just so many options to mount your receiver in VTX and stuff like that. I really like it. I can't wait till you get it done. So this is your personal design?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you the two of y'all collaborating through Spin FPV, or are you going to have your own thing?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. It's not okay. These things. It's not the big part of my equation. I just want that one made.
I gotcha.
Not necessarily because I want to make money, but I'm a little bit cautious about putting it out, because I want it to be nice. I don't want anybody else to pick it up and make it like not how I imagine it, because I want it to be as good as possible. And it's not that I don't trust people, but I do trust myself. as well to some
Yeah,
degree.
no. I totally. I mean, you know, when you finally get it done, if you wouldn't mind letting me know, because I think I'd like to pick up one for myself. But also, if you decided to offer it to the community, I have a little. I've got a page on my website that I have for, I don't know what the right term is. I call them indie designers. You know, people like yourself, as you got your own design and you're gonna offer it to the community. I'd like to try and support individuals, designers, and not so much, here's iFlight's new frame and here's GepRC's new frame. Those are everywhere. I have a tab that I try to find private individuals. And if you decide to, let me know, because I wouldn't mind picking up a few of your frames just to support you.
Yeah.
What's up, brother? Yeah, not a problem, man. Oh no, it's all good. All good. Like that's what I said, man. It's just very relaxed, chill.
Yeah. Thanks.
I can't remember what we were talking about. But I do.
Think the frame and also use case. I don't necessarily have. Well, I just want to make the frame. I think it will be nice, and it's for inspiration for people as well. Because I think it's a little bit special, and I think maybe somebody can figure out how to use it.
Well, I'd like to get an opportunity to, and I'd like to, if you, when you do get it done, I wouldn't mind picking up a few of them and put them in my shop, just to support you. What do you normally fly? Do you fly race, freestyle, cinematic, all of it?
Yeah, all of it, more or less.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah. Nej, då sätter du i ro, Emrik. Du får inte lov att sitta och läsa. Då sätter du i ro.
Huh?
Yeah.
So, your buddy Spin FPV, his design. So did he do 100% of the design himself, or did y'all collaborate?
Yeah, it's there is a little bit collaboration. There is I would say 90% or 95% his.
Okay.
And this one is probably the same the other way, 95% mine, and we have a little bit different approach. I think I'm very minimalistic. I don't want a lot of stuff. I want it as simple as possible.
Right.
And
usually that makes for more durability and stuff like that.
Yeah.
On his Cobra. So did he design that as a freestyle, or did he design it as a 5-inch cinematic? Or did he just design it and it just took off, and this is what he ended up with?
I think he's more into cinematic.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Because when I first saw it and I see the integrated windshield, what have you, I'm like, well, that's gonna shatter. I didn't understand it, and then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, oh, but it's an ND filter. It's an ND filter, and ND filters shatter all the time. I mean, ND filters are just a consumable, whether it's a TBS ND filter that you put on your GoPro mount. Well, now you're putting the ND filter because it's an 03, soon to be an 04. Okay, it makes sense. I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to step back and because it's different, not go, oh yeah, but, and go, well, wait a minute. There's no difference between this unique looking design versus the traditional TBS ND filter that I slide into my TPU GoPro mount. I mean, those don't last me long.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, it's, but it would hold up some crashes. There is standoffs inside this plastic, the canopy. So it's standoffs integrated inside, so it would have some durability. But for sure, the ND filters, yeah, like you say, it's,
it makes sense to me when you think of it along those lines, and it seems like it's not ergonomically, but it seems to be a more an easier method, because he has the button and the top plate pops off, and then the ND filter slide comes in and out real easily, and you put the top plate back on, which can be either just a plane or the GoPro mount or what have you. I thought that was pretty smart. The 3D prints, do you know what material he's going to use or what have you?
Nylon 11, I think it's called. I haven't done too much research on that material, but as I understood from him, it's a fairly new material, and it's supposed to be very strong and durable. And from what I've seen, it seems like a very good material. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to do some looking at it, because obviously the first thought is well, if it's not TPU, how durable is the print?
Yeah.
Also, knowing that filaments are going through some pretty amazing generations right now, and there's some really strong filaments being released into the community right now. I'll have to look at that Nylon 11. Bamboo has just released some new filaments that I'm dying to get my hand on, because it's like maybe we reached a point where filaments are actually filaments may be an alternative to carbon fiber for maybe a whoop frame, because bamboo, I can't think of what it is, something carbon fiber based, what have you. It's 150 a roll, and it looks extremely strong. I'm like, okay, well maybe that's to the point we could actually use it for a whoop frame. And have you flown his frame much? Have you crashed it?
No, I'm not sure if he crashed it. I'm not sure. Just a second. Can I say it? He wants to drive a car.
Of course. I know it's getting late too.
Yeah.
Probably past his bedtime, your time, I'm guessing, something like that.
Yeah, it's approaching quickly.
Is it getting close to 10 o'clock or something?
Nah, 8. Getting close to 8. So, but he's
Okay.
We didn't really. We have to finish supper, you call it, like evening food.
Man, I apologize for intruding on y'all's time.
No,
I appreciate it. We can go ahead and wrap this up, so you can get back to being dad if you want.
I think challenges may appear if we don't do it that way.
Yeah. Dad, being a dad always comes first. All I'd say is, it was a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate you giving up your evening to sit down and just chat about anything and everything with me. It was a pleasure. I'm very interested in seeing your design come to fruition. If your friend ever wants to talk more about his plans, let him know that the invitation is still open, even with the language barriers. I have no problem with us, going slow and you translating for him or what have you. And if you ever want to meet back up 6 months, a year down the road and have another chat, I'd be more than happy to, because I think listen to you talk. I feel like we kind of we're similar in some ways on our FPV journey, and I kind of wish we lived closer together so we could kick it. But obviously we're far away from each other. But in all, man, just thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Tell your son that I appreciate him. Let him know I appreciate him and giving you up for the night. And I guess I'll let you go and y'all have a good dinner.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say hello.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.